My name is Jamira Burley. I'm 29 years old. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I currently reside in Harlem, New York. I was the founder of the Panther Peace Corps, which was an anti-violence peer mediation program that started at Overbrook High School. And then I became the student leadership coordinator for the School District of Philadelphia, implementing anti-violence programs across the city of Philadelphia. Then I became the youngest executive director for the city of Philadelphia, leading the Youth Commission. After that, I went to Amnesty International, where I led their gun violence and criminal justice work before joining the Hillary Clinton campaign as the Deputy National Millennial Vote Director. And now I'm at the Global Business Coalition, trying to close the skills gap with young people around the world. I grew up in West Philadelphia, which was very much written by crime and drugs, and we were so used to seeing people get arrested and go to jail that it became a normal thing. And I think as I got older, I started to realize that just because it was normal doesn't mean it was right. And so I tried to figure out how I, as a young person, can get engaged. And it started out with gun violence prevention because of the death of my brother. And then it just blew up more and more. Because once you, I think, focus in on one issue, you realize it's so connected to everything else. It's not just about guns, it's also about who puts the guns in the hands of those criminals or who creates the environment for violence to occur. I got involved doing gun violence prevention work in high school, and because my program was so successful, I was given a grant by the governor to implement that same program into the top 10 persistently dangerous high schools at 15. And so learning what I knew, working with the people that I did, I was really able to get some mentorship and guidance, and it opened doors that allowed me to work for the school district before I had graduated from high school. It got me an appointment with the mayor. But it was me being ready for those opportunities. It was me soaking up all of the knowledge that I could from the people that I was surrounded by. It was also me just recognizing that my age wasn't a deterrent, but rather it was something valuable that needed to be in the room because I had something to add, because I had something to include, because I could relate to the people that we were trying to serve. I think the path for people to get involved in social justice is very different. It can be because of a tragic incident that happened personally to you. It can be something that you see in your community that makes you upset. It can just be that you want to work for an organization that has a social justice mission. I think for those who are interested in getting involved in social justice, it's really about identifying problems that are close to home for you, something that you really care about, and then looking at the intersectionalities of how it impacts other people, and then deciding what skill or what resources do you have as an individual that allows you to bring something unique to the table. Representation is so important, and seeing, I think, Black faces, educated Black faces on TV screens talking about politics, I think actually shows that our very existence has always been political, right? The very reason why we came to the United States was very political, and still continues to be to this day, as you have people telling Black people who've lived here for decades to go back to their home. But what I will say is that one of the things that I've learned about talking about politics and being involved is actually everything is political. So whether you're talking about what you eat, how you have access to what you eat in your community, if you're talking about who runs for president, it all is connected to policy. It's trying to actually take that language that's normally considered nuanced or very political and make it an everyday conversation that you can have with your friends. I'm very interested in what's happening with Blackness right now. You have people who are politically engaged but are also creating music. You have people who are artists who are also doing acting. And so it's a very interesting stage where people are really trying to explore all aspects of themselves, and also not being afraid to identify as Black in every moment of their lives. It's being Black at every stage of your life. It's being Black at every atmosphere that you walk into, meaning whether that's corporate, whether that's in the club with your friends, or whether that's a coffee shop. It's really just standing in your roots and your identity in a way that I think is extremely authentic to this time. Being a part of the Hillary Clinton campaign was probably the most stressful job that I had ever been a part of in my entire life, just because as a Black woman, you know what's at stake, right? You know that there are people whose bodies and lives are on the line depending on who gets elected. And since she announced, I knew I was going to join the campaign. When I was going to join the campaign was all up in the air. But I remember when I received a call to join the campaign, I had just left Baton Rouge, where there was a police shooting and there were riots and there were police officers out with semi-automatics, like intimidating everyday citizens. And I knew that that was the reason why I was joining the campaign, not because I thought that she would be our white savior and she would wave a wand and fix everything, but I thought that she was the most qualified, and I thought that she was the most movable of candidates, meaning she would learn from her mistakes, she would learn from new ideas and the people around her to allow her to create policies and places for us all to kind of learn from each other and celebrate our differences. People use hate as a way to fuel their ambition to run for office, but also their ambition to get out and vote for Donald Trump. While being a part of the Hillary Clinton campaign, I was surrounded by so many young millennials, so many young people from diverse backgrounds who really understood that this was a fight for our lives, it was a fight for our rights, and we wanted to create something that was more than just about fighting against his hate, but about love and respect and celebration. And I won't shy away from saying I was devastated by the news that she didn't win. And I also think it isn't the responsibility of American citizens to fix all. It's our responsibility to create space, to educate them, and to create a pathway for them to want to get out and vote. Advice that I would give my younger self would be, while you're out trying to save the world, like, don't forget to save yourself. We oftentimes, especially as Black women, we're nurturers. We want to give back. We want to help people. We want to take care of people. And rarely do we think about taking care of ourselves and creating space for our own self-care and own self-health. And so I had to learn that over time, that the movement will move on without me, but do I want to die at a young age from stress? And I think what just happened to Erica Garner hit me hard, because I was thinking about, like, she's a young woman dying from something that is so preventable. But the stress of being woke and being aware can kill you. Being a Black person in America, outside of your interactions with the police, can still kill you. Music or entertainment in general have a very unique opportunity to tell stories and to amplify those individual identities. And so the role I think the music industry and rappers and singers and artists in general have, the opportunity is to tell all of our stories. So not just talking about the times that you were in the projects, but also talking about the trajectory of your life. That's what I really like about Jay-Z, is the fact that he's no longer talking about what happened at Marcy, but it's also talking about, like, how he's evolved over time and the experiences he's had and that growth. And so I really think it's important for artists to tell a diverse set of stories that doesn't just point to guns and drugs and women. It also is going to require men to look at women not as objects and look at them as nurturers, the women who, in many cases, were their only figure in the household, was the one that bathed them and took care of them. I like to think that my work is contributing to changing the African American experience by ensuring that spaces and places that I have access to are opening its doors to all of the different identities that is Black youth, and to create opportunities for them. Too often, I think we create opportunities for youth in general and not really look at the experiences of Black youth and understanding what they need in order to fully participate in any opportunity or situation. And so my job is that when I show up in these places and spaces, I bring those stories, I bring those ideas, and when possible, I bring them. Whenever you have access, it's all about creating access for other people. It's all about creating opportunity for other people. You can't just get free if everyone else isn't free. My name is Jamira Burley, and I'm an activist first, but I'm also the head of youth engagement and skills at the Global Business Coalition for Education. I am the new Black Renaissance.